Welcome to another episode of the Cat Breeding for Beginners podcast. I'm Pamela and I breed British Shorthairs in Perth, Western Australia. I have a real passion for cat breeding and exhibiting, and I want to share my knowledge and experience with you. I'm on a mission to help new cat breeders go from feeling intimidated, confused and having trouble getting started to confidently breeding happy and healthy cats whilst enjoying this amazing hobby. Before we get started, make sure you visit my website and download your copy of my helpful guide, Advice to New Breeders, where experienced breeders share some great tips they wish someone told them when they started breeding. You can find the link on my homepage at www.catbreedingforbeginners.com. Just look for the picture of Angelica with her kittens. I am currently sitting in my car outside of the post office, and I wanted to tell you something because I tend to think of things as podcast topics and think, well, I should record this now while I'm thinking about it, and that's one of these moments. This morning I have been doing a little bit of work, and if you don't know this already, I am actually the registrar for my association, and that means that I'm processing registrations for everybody for their cats and kittens. I'm doing transfers into our database, I'm transferring cats out to other associations and doing a lot of work with people's pedigrees basically. And what I want to tell you is this. You know, this morning I did a pedigree for going overseas, and I had to do an 8th generation pedigree certified copy, and that's why I'm here at the post office, because I now need to post that physical copy off to the person so she can post it off to the breeder overseas. So there's a lot of stuff involved. But all of this got me thinking about being a registrar and how I've not really talked heaps about that, and I thought that I probably should start sharing some of those things because these are lessons you need to learn. So today's lesson, register your kittens. Register every kitten you breed. Now, I don't care what association you're with. The majority of them have a rule saying that you have to register the kittens that you breed. And if they don't, you should still be doing it. And I'm going to tell you why. The first reason is the money that is made with the registrations is basically paying for your association. When I do registrations like the ones that I've just done and sent off, they're worth, I think I just sent off in one envelope $75 worth of work. Now, that's not $75 I'm getting. That's $75 my association's getting because I put in an hour or two of work to put that in. When people register a litter of kittens, if they register a litter of 5 kittens, the association makes $50. So register your kittens because you need to pay your way. We have associations that are run by volunteers in most places, and even if they're not, they've still got running costs. And we want to have the services from them, so you're going to have to pay for them in the form of, it's not your membership that pays for them, it's the registrations of your kittens and your transfers. The other thing I want to tell you why you need to do it is because another thing that's come up recently, and this comes up every now and again, not very much in our association, but every now and again, if you don't register a kitten and you sell it to someone, you might think, well, that's great. I don't have to do that. It's fine. But it will come back to bite you on the ass. I'm sorry, that's very Australian. For anyone that's not in Australia, it'll come back to bite you on the butt. And it'll come back because the person will say, well, I was supposed to have paperwork for this cat, and this person hasn't given it to me, and what am I going to do? And they will contact the association directly. And as soon as that happens, the association knows that you haven't done the right thing, that you've probably breached their rules in not providing a pedigree. And then they're going to ask you to do it. And most of the time when this happens, what we do is we say, oh, have you forgotten to do this one? And that gives you a moment to, go, oh, yes, I forgot to do it, and then provide it, and everything's fine. But if you can't provide it because you've done something weird, like you can't provide it because you've already registered that cat had kittens when it didn't have kittens or something like that, you're going to come completely unstuck. And to be honest, if that's what you're doing, I think you should come unstuck. But if you are someone who's just, the only reason not to register your kittens is because you're too lazy or you're being too cheap. And I don't think either of them is an excuse. It's part of the deal. It's the kitten's birth certificate, and you've got to provide it to the owners, or provide, depending on your association. I know some places it's about registering them and the owners then have to get the pedigree themselves. But that registration is recording the birth of the kitten. You have to do that recording. If you're not doing that because you're being cheap, it's like literally not that much money, and those kittens are being sold for hundreds and hundreds, even thousands and thousands of dollars. If you can't spring for a couple of bucks to register it, then you shouldn't be breeding. I mean, that's a strong opinion, but that's how I feel about it. And if you're being lazy, then you need to just step it up and get it done, or maybe get someone to help you. Is there somebody in your family, or is there a friend that can help you with the paperwork and keeping on top of it? You really need to do that, because you're registering the birth and then you're providing the birth certificate, and that's somebody's right when they're buying a kitten from you. And that money that you might be being stingy about, that money is fueling your association, and that's how they're going to be able to provide services for you. But if you don't do it, you will get caught out, because it's that person that comes back and then says to the association, where's my paperwork? The other way you'll get caught out is that people tell other breeders. I had that situation. A newbie in my new cat breeders club said to me yesterday, I know that we were talking about somebody else, I know that she doesn't register her kittens. And the reason I know that is because people have then come and bought their second kitten from me, and they've told me that they never got the paperwork for their first kitten. So we know that that's the kind of thing that's going to ruin your reputation amongst other breeders. People aren't going to want to help you and be involved with you if they're finding out that you're being dodgy in the background and either too lazy or too cheap to register your kittens. And it creates frustration, and for the person who thinks that, for that owner, when they go to that other breeder and they tell that other breeder that they didn't get the paperwork, they're telling them because they're disgruntled about it. They're unhappy about it. They are they're making sure that the new person that they're dealing with is definitely going to give it to them because they feel that they're owed it. That's a pretty awful way to make someone feel, and that's a pretty awful way to make someone feel about our hobby, because that's, it reflects on other breeders when breeders don't do the right thing and they think that we're all the same. And then all it takes is for that other person to just be the shining star that says, yes, here's the pedigree, you can have a copy of the parents now, you can have the copy of the kittens one, and I'll laminate it and have it all ready for you when you pick up your kitten, and then they'll be the superstar. Who do you reckon when it comes time for, they've got friends coming over to visit and they see their two cats there and they ask them where they got them, which breeder do you reckon they're going to recommend? They're going to recommend the one that treated them the best and gave them the stuff that they were entitled to and that they paid for. So that's something to think about too. But really, all I wanted to say is, as I'm about to, I'm sitting here in my car and it's a bit warm, so I'll probably finish this up now. But I just wanted to say, please, everybody, register your kittens. Register all your kittens. Don't sell your kittens without registering them, please. Okay, bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you visit www.catbreedingforbeginners.com, where you can find articles, guides, courses and more. Plus, make sure you check out my amazing New Cat Breeders Club. It's a supportive space where new cat breeders can learn, share and help each other. I only take new members a few times a year, so sign up to make sure you don't miss out.